Hello once again. Please forgive me for disappearing so quickly, but my phone decided my stuff was too hot to handle and closed down. But I guess YouTube were the final judge of that. Now then, where was I? Oh yes. Because of the internet and the numerous amount of fact-based knowledge that is still available at the moment, I will continue my research. How long that information lasts will be anybody's guess. I certainly do not know. We are living in a rule-based Western nightmare that has been created by globalists, among whom is our present head of state, and is also unashamedly the head of the World Economic Forum. Most definitely a cabal for the rich and the privileged people of this world. And make no mistake, the head of state's family are extremely privileged and wealthy beyond most people's dreams. And because of their status, they get away with heinous crimes. Ordinary folk would be locked up forever. And this king certainly is not my king. Now, the country to watch right now is Ireland. It's been going through radical change for some time under the new Prime Minister Leo Varadkar, who is just another globalist. And they are in the process of rushing through legislation to stop hate speech. And that will be enforced by law under the threat of arrest and even jail. Now, you may think that sounds like a good idea. In fact, it's nothing short of total control. Who determines hate speech? Free speech often offends someone. And just because you're offended doesn't make you right. But offending someone can be said to be hate speech. Going down this road is utter tyranny, and that is exactly what they want. Now, talking of Ireland, I would like to recommend a book called Prophet Song, and it's by a man called Paul Lynch, and he has just won the Booker Prize for Literature with his dystopian novel set in a not too distant future in Ireland. I listened to this on Audible because the words, his prose, flow like a song. And like all great literature, it inspires deep thoughts. Well, it certainly does to me. It doesn't take much observation to see that the whole world is in turmoil. Absolute chaos, in fact. And also, it doesn't take a genius to see why. Look back in the history of all wars, and then look at the circumstances prior to that war. Almost always, a war comes with a frustration with the status quo at that particular time. Looking at war from a philosophical point of view, and I quote a philosopher who shall remain nameless here, and I quote, "Some of the greatest thinkers of the past few centuries say that the brutality of war has a unique property of revealing the true nature and purpose of man. War is a key moment in the strategy of resisting the world of illusion that has been forced upon us by unscrupulous people. And it is a challenge to the world, a revolt against it, a desire to reduce it to a sacred will, to saddle it like a force, a stream, and carry out a seizure of power in the name of higher values." End of quote. And that is exactly what is happening right now. And we must be on the right side of history to choose between right and between wrong. Just because someone invades another country doesn't make them evil. What you need to do is to look at the process leading up to it. It is vital to understand, and sadly, most folk do not understand that, simply because they rather believe the propaganda forced upon us by, once again, unscrupulous people in high places. If they win, then your life won't be worth living. Having said that, I am hopeful that because of what's transpired these last few years, it has revealed the true evil people in this world. And you don't need to look too far across the pond to spot the root of this malevolence. People who are drunk on power and have no conscience or reverse mode. It can only end one way, and that is the end of an empire, just as all empires in the past. The time is up and the regime is wounded, failing and spiralling out of control. The only problem with a wounded animal is that it is then when they are at their most dangerous. A wounded lion will still fight to the death. I have no predictions or comfort to offer, only the realisation that we desperately need old-fashioned common sense to prevail. Frighteningly, common sense is a rarity in today's world, and if you remind the so-called elites of education, the dons of universities, the ones who have never left the confines of a secure institution, they will call you a knuckle-dragger and an uneducated buffoon. But the truth is, those are the ones that are uneducated about the ways of the world. They haven't got a clue, and they remain comfortable in their cocoons of academic cotton wool. Take them away from that institution and they'll flounder like a fish in a puddle. I was about to say, may your God go with you, but the world God and his omnipotence, omnipresence and omniscience isn't a very popular word today, considering where his prophet son was born and the three Abrahamic religions that support its authenticity. I'm not knocking religion, just the interpretation of the scriptures that are often misunderstood or altered to suit the moment. Now, I personally consider myself as free spirit having a human experience. So whatever you believe in, be true to yourself, because that is the supreme religion. We in the West today celebrate New Year's Day. But did you know that there are 18 countries that don't? Those 18 countries still use the Julian calendar, and Christmas Day falls on the 7th of January, and New Year's Day is on the 14th of January in the Gregorian calendar. Now, I've always been interested in the new year and when it begins, and I've had arguments for years, since 1999, in fact, concerning the first day of the new millennium. It's not what you think, and it puts the theory of the millennium bug to rest. The first day of the new millennium wasn't until January the 1st, 2001, not 2000 as many believe. Look it up, don't take my word for it. Now, in conclusion, thank you very much for listening to an old man who should be by rights in his dotage. But I'm certainly not ready to be put out to graze just yet. Unless the omnipotent one has other plans for me, because after all, I am just mortal. Bye-bye for now.